You just knew the bullshit was going to start, didn't you? You knew it was coming. A matter of time before the insufferable left-wing media decided, well, you know, we got to have some fake outrage about this. Let me tell you something. Hold on. Every stinking president has been a misogynist in some ways. Vegetable Lasagna was living in the White House the last 4 years, didn't know his ass from third base. Wait a second, here's my ass. Is that third base? Oh, my God, he was a misogynist. No, only there's some Fruit Loop that writes in the Columbus Dispatch. Nobody cares. Ohio State's football team does what every team should do. Regardless of political affiliation of the office, they went and visited the president. Look, you get an invite from Joe Schmo down the street, you got to figure it out. You get an invite from the White House, the president, no matter what side of the aisle the president reigns, you go. You go. 90% of those kids, like me, when I went in 1997, I didn't even think I knew whether Ronald Reagan was a Democrat or Republican. I didn't care. Why does anybody care? Why would you care at 18, 19, 20 years old? The only thing I cared about was, man, I don't want to go to war. Whoever the president is, I know I had to go to the post office and sign up, but I don't want to go. No draft, no draft. Anyway, long story short, who cares? You won a national football championship. There's an old saying, to the victor goes the spoils. Well, that's one of the spoils. Get a chance to go shake hands with the most powerful man in the world. You get a chance to go to the White House. You get a chance to go see the White House, go see D.C., go see all these sites. Hell, I'd never been there before I went, and I like that I went. Shut up, everybody, about it, but you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. A matter of time before the insufferable left-wing media decided, well, you know, we got to have some fake outrage about this. We got to have fake outrage that these kids went to the White House, which included our own Joe Kinsey, who had a great time attending. All right. And with the latest example coming from the Columbus Dispatch, Jonathan Curian, who titled his slanderous hit piece, How Will the Buckeyes Explain Swallowing Pride to Visit Misogynist at White House? Let's unpack what this gasbag had to say. Let me tell you something. Hold on here. Every stinking president has been a misogynist in some ways. Every single president. I mean, you go back to Reagan, he married Nancy, who was the best in the entire city of Hollywood. They say older Bush had a 33-year concubine. Younger Bush was a cokehead. I mean, let's not even get to the most evil people in the world. The Clintons invading the White House, maybe the second most evil person, Obama, in the White House. I mean, stop it. Stop it. Then we had a vegetable. Vegetable Lasagna was living in the White House the last 4 years, didn't know his ass from third base. Wait a second, here's my ass. Is that third base? I don't know. Oh, yeah, let's judge everything by the morality of a president, and you'll fall way short. What was Lyndon Johnson's involvement in Kennedy being crushed? I don't know. You tell me. Here we go. What an unfortunate and short-sighted choice that was by the national champion Buckeyes choosing to visit the White House under the current climate. How do coaches and players explain to their wives and daughters that they took this opportunity to commemorate their championship while supporting the current occupant of the White House, a confessed misogynist? Yeah, you know how I do it? Hey, guess what, man? Why don't you come with us? Hey, you know what? In 1987, in their case, 2025, we got a chance to go to the White House. They see the White House on TV. You tell your son or your daughter, did they ever tell you how I got a chance to meet the president? How I ever tell you I got a chance to be right there with the president? Oh, my God, he was a misogynist. No, only there's some Fruit Loop that writes in the Columbus Dispatch. Nobody cares. I mean, you guys care because you're mad, you lost, and you got to figure stuff out in the world we live in, whines, bitches, and moans about everything. But I'll tell you exactly how you describe it. Hey, honey, I ever tell you I went to the White House? Yes, hon, you've told me 15 times. Well, it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. You know, you don't remember every experience you have in college. In fact, there are many you would rather forget. But going to the White House, man, that is numero uno or numero dos after the national championship. You get a chance. Are you kidding me? You see the back lawn, you see the Rose Garden, and you go, hey, I was there. Oh, just stop it with your bullshit. Just stop it. And Columbus Dispatch, you printing that, I hope everybody in that city decides the thing that we have decided here in Indy. Your newspaper ain't worth it. Hell, Indianapolis newspaper is down to like 59 cents for a year. Columbus Dispatch, how do non-white players explain to those who stand up for racial inequality that they decide to swallow pride and principle in exchange for notoriety with their perceived sport of a known racist? Right. See the rally in Charlottesville where the media cut it this big, a broader statement. Yeah, that's right. Let's refer to, see, this guy says, see the rally, the right rally, Charlottesville. Yes, so this guy is making a point using fake news. Isn't that perfect? Isn't that absolutely perfect? I listened to what Trump had to say in Charlottesville. It was nothing like what was reported. It wasn't even close. But this guy believes it. See, this guy's mad. I always think this now. I always think that, and I say this all the time on Twitter that come at me out of the blue, whatever's going on in your life, I hope it gets better. I do. I hope it gets better. I hope whatever is eating at you to the point where you think this is a good thing to put out there, where you are talking about fake news to persuade 18 to 23-year-olds for not going to the White House, I hope it gets better, honey. I do, Peaches. Jonathan G. Garriott, Susan B. Anthony, Gloria Steinem, Jackie Robinson, Rosa Parks must have either floored or rolled over in their grave. Sure they did. Knowing that the lifetime mission they took to create gender and racial equality has been all but lost among many of our current athletes and coaches. Yeah, I mean, a team going to the White House destroyed it all. No, it did. It upturned the entire civil rights movement. I mean, all of a sudden, we're going to go back and just go the way it was in the 50s because a team decided to go to the White House. Yeah, I can see it, man. I can see it. As I've said before, and I'll say again, Donald Trump could put his hands on an entire arena of cancer victims, cure cancer in every one of them, and guys like Jonathan G. Garriott would be mad and would say, well, what about AIDS? Well, I did a composition. There were 62% white people, only 10% Asian. Why didn't you cure more Asians? I mean, this is the world that we're living in, and I love it. I love every minute of it. Yes, they are rolling over their graves. The disregard of history and its societal icons is appalling. Shame on them. Yes, shame on them. Shame on all these teams that visited the White House. Oh, bullshit. Stick it up your ass, except I don't think you could, Joe. I'm sure there's too many things up your ass right now. Panthers have visited, Dodgers have visited, Buckeyes have visited, and the Eagles are set for April 29th. Look, the left is going to keep trying. They're not going to stop. They're too ridiculous. They're too idiotic. They're too sociopathic to stop. Every little slight will be perceived with horror and a historical background. Honest to God, every perceived slight. You know, back in 1973, Donald Trump didn't let people get housing, for which he's apologized, for which he's paid a heavy fine. The only perfect people are the people on the left and news writers. Newspaper people are the only perfect people. I mean, we got a guy here in Indy named James Briggs who, I don't know, when he got fired from the Indy Star, I think, who knows what he did. He got hired back by the Indy Star because no one would take the job, and he knows how to run the government. His experience in government is nil. Greg Doyle knows how to run every team, and your town has that. Your town's got every newspaper person. The only perfect people in our society are your newspaper guys and the left-wing crazy dude that sits in his basement and writes about the achievements of other people with disdain. That's it. The rest of us, we're flawed. The rest of us, we suck. The rest of us, we can't get out of our own way. Whatever we do, it must be aligned with those perfect groups of people. And if it is not aligned with the James Briggs or Greg Doyles of the world, then it is wrong, although they have no experience in the particular field with which they are talking. Or the lefties. If you do not align with the lefties, you are rolling over history. You are a heathen. You are somebody not to be trusted. You are a racist, a sexist, or even worse, according to them, a Nazi. You are all of it. Yeah, suck it. Suck it, all of you. Keep going to the White House. Keep standing on business. And screw these loons. We did listen to these loons, which is going to put the United States on the wrong side of history back around COVID and after. We actually listened to idiots. There was a time when this guy would have been listened to. That time has passed. Suck it. Suck it, big fella. Suck it, Johnny boy. Stay in your basement. Run to your mommy. She'll make oatmeal today because you got bad teeth. Promise. Hey, what else is he supposed to say? Let's start this with this. Luka Doncic, the general manager, Nico Harrison, that traded Luka Doncic, well, he's opened himself up to questions to a select group of Dallas media. He sat there without cameras or recording devices because he's a douchebag. See, you got to understand about Nico Harrison. Nico Harrison is a guy that ran with Kobe. He was like Kobe's Nike guy. I've been around the Nike guy. I have. I've been on Nike trips. I've seen the grassroots basketball guys. They're all full of shit. They're all full of shit hangers-on that get a little job, and then they become really, really important. And I mean, they become important like nobody's business. I mean, too important, way important. They are something. And Nico Harrison is the prototype of that guy. He got a job with Kobe, and then he parlayed that smartly into a job as a general manager of the Dallas Mavericks. And as a general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, he wants the next Kobe, and Luka Doncic wasn't it. So, in a true gutless, I'm a Nike executive, yay rah, look at me. When times get tough, though, what does he do? He pusses out. That's right, I said it. I don't want to go in front of cameras. I don't want to go in front of recorders. I'll bring you in and we'll have a chat. So he talked to a bunch of reporters in a conference where no cameras, reiterated that he has no regrets about trading Luka Doncic and that defense wins championships. Really? It does. All right. There are no regrets on this trade, Harrison said. Part of my job is to do the best thing for the Mavericks, not only today, but also in the future. And some of the decisions I'm going to make are going to be unpopular. All right, that's my job. And I have to stand by it. Standing by it meant saying multiple times, defense wins championships when asked to justify the trade. I go back to what I said in my opening statement. Putting the roster on the floor with Kyrie, Clay, PJ, Anthony Davis, and Lively, that's a championship caliber team. And all the fans could have been upset with trading Luka, they wouldn't have been upset with the results. Boy, did he get lucky. He got lucky that Kyrie Irving got hurt. He did. He got very, very lucky. With our philosophy of defense wins championships, we wanted a two-way player to lead our team. And that was Anthony Davis. And so everyone's going to have their critics, but we got what we wanted. Well, let me explain this to you. Ryder asked him in this. All right. Name me one time where a team traded for defense. There is none. Name one time where a team traded real offense for defense. Not drafted, traded. There are none. We looked it up. My producer Jonathan and I were talking about this on my afternoon show, and we looked it up. The answer is never. Never. You want to say Rodman? They picked him up. Name one. The closest we could come to was Rick Roby, a big fat guy from Kentucky, getting traded for Dennis Johnson. This is in the 70s or early 80s. DJ was a great defensive player for the Sonics. They had won a championship. Gus Williams, his partner, was the offensive guy. DJ, good all-around player, but all defense in the NBA. Celtics got him for Rick Roby. Now, Rick Roby had averaged 5 points a game. It's not quite the same. We can't figure it out. Like, defense wins championships if we would have. Really? All right. I mean, in this NBA, you better have a stud. Now, good for the Dallas Mavericks. They went into Sacramento and won last night. Nice. So they're still alive. The only way this trade works out is if the Dallas Mavericks win and win big. Sitting at home after the next round of the playoffs and watching the Lakers win a championship, I don't care what he says about championships. In the NBA, you got to play a little bit of defense, but defense ain't winning you shit. You better be able to make threes. You better be able to make plays late. You better have a star quality about you. I love Nico Harrison's like my favorite dude. A nondescript dude that was a barnacle on Kobe Bryant's ass. Nike picked him up because that's what Nike does. And next thing you know, he's become a guy. A real guy. A guy that is guy enough to trade one of the top 5 players in the NBA, piss off an entire fan base and keep his job. That's special. No, it's really special. Let's see this. Some sports writers are delusional. Yahoo Sports published an article that encapsulated how left-wing sports media has completely abandoned any semblance of historical perspective out of hatred for Donald Trump. All right. The article makes the nonsensical claim that by Trump's administration's effort to dismantle entrenched racism and discrimination with DEI policies and initiative is corporate and educational America is a directional contradiction to Robinson's legacy. Literally. Yeah, really. All right, there you go. That's our guy Ian. It is predictable, understandable even, that Major League Baseball would adjust its public-facing language to ensure it remains beyond Donald Trump's wrath. That's because the current administration's systematic destruction of DEI efforts across the country stand in direct contradiction to Robinson's legacy. Man, I got to tell you, I knew one man that knew Jackie Robinson. He has since passed, and he said Jackie Robinson wouldn't give a shit about any of this. Jackie Robinson fought his ass off to play baseball, do all the things that he did. He fought for our country. Jackie Robinson would have been, according to a guy that I got to know, would have wanted what's best for our nation. And nobody in DEI is disputing Jackie Robinson's greatness. Nobody. Not even a little bit. Not spinning this story forward, not connecting it to modern America's glaring inadequacies, not using this opportunity to make the point that is an invalidation of the entire Jackie Robinson Day project. Yeah, I get it. You got to have somewhere to die on. There's nothing controversial, thought-provoking, or uncomfortable about how the league tells Robinson's story. Money is donated, time is volunteered, and the Robinson Foundation is included. And yet the entire day transmits a kind of kumbaya energy, one that whispers saccharine comforts in a post-racial tone. Okay, what do you want everybody to do? Get violent? I mean, with all due respect, it was a long time ago, and most people have said, man, I love history. I love going to museums. I love seeing what happened, but I got to move on with our lives. Is that not right? I mean, Manfred said Jackie Robinson transcends any debate that's going on in today's society about issues surrounding DEI. That's what Manfred said. Hey, look, what Jackie Robinson stands for, here we go, was moving us past an overt kind of segregation that I don't believe anyone actually supports today. That's right. Nobody supports segregation. They just want you to hire the best people. That's it. I mean, that's exactly right. I get it. See, again, we've got to make big-time deals out of stuff. What Jackie Robinson did was remarkable. It'll never happen again. I mean, you can make stuff up and say we're headed in that direction, but clearly we're not. Obviously we're not. But I get it. You got to say that because left-wing writers get hurt. Jackie Robinson, I think what Manfred said is absolutely right. Transcends any debate that's going on in today's society about issues surrounding DEI. He does. He transcends the whole thing. His wasn't a DEI. It was actually the opposite. Jackie Robinson's deal was he was the best player, and Branch Rickey knew it. He was the best player, the smartest, the toughest, the most fierce competitor, and the perfect guy to break the color barrier, which was going to get broken eventually. And Jackie Robinson did that. And Branch Rickey and the Dodgers were absolutely right, 1,000% right. Couldn't have been more right. Had the perfect guy. And I hope his story is told forever. But I get what writers are doing. They're throwing anything they can at the wall, anything against Trump to get DEI back, particularly the white writers. And I get that. We all get that. I've told you forever, white guys are so afraid to be called racist in this day and age. But Jackie Robinson, he's the opposite of DEI. You looked around, you said, who is the best person for this job? For our baseball team, the answer was Jackie Robinson. I've read so many books on this. Then you looked around and said, who is the toughest dude that can handle all the bullshit that's going to come from white people? Jackie Robinson, 2 for 2. Who's the most dynamic player that's going to make us better of all their minor league? Jackie Robinson. Who's tough enough to handle a clubhouse of racists? Jackie Robinson. The opposite of DEI. He was the guy for the job, and there was no other. The writers don't understand. They just don't understand that. Manfred does. You get mad at Manfred, he's an easy target, middle-aged white guy, right? Jackie Robinson transcends any debate that's going on in today's society surrounding DEI. That's right. What Jackie Robinson stands for was moving us past an overt kind of segregation that anyone actually supports today. That's right. Now you know what's going to happen. Well, Trump does. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. We got beef. You know I like beef, Nick. I love me some beef. Star Kevin Durant threw some shade at presidential hope for Stephen A. Smith on Tuesday's First Take debate about how much blame the Sun star Durant should shoulder in the midst of an incredible failure. That's right. How much blame does Durant deserve for the Sun season? Well, it's always about the stars, right? I don't know. Steve is trying to run for president. You think he actually paid attention to a struggling team? It's called propaganda. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I hear all the time how great you are when you're on winning teams. Your team sucked, Durant. It sucked. And you sucked. Problem with Kevin Durant is he's never quite been able to be himself. He's a really nice guy, a really good guy, but he tries so damn hard. I've talked about this many times. Watch him in interviews. He's trying so hard. I know. I understand it. I do. Now it's catching up to him because, well, when you get older, people look to you for leadership, real leadership, and if you're not yourself, no one's following. I would bet you money if we got an honest poll of everybody in the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant not being himself, the nice guy. He's trying to be something he's not. Hard guy from Baltimore. Sure you are. We've seen you play. You're a jump shooter. Get away from me. All right, here's Stephen A. Smith and Durant.
Simply saying elements of leadership that other people may have had to galvanize a team is something that he hasn't seen to have. I either put 98% of the blame on Matt Ishbia, the owner. So obviously you can't say anything. Former players, present players, coaches, teammates, media. Nobody can talk about this guy, okay?
No, he's right about that. And I've said this before. Durant tries to be sullen and moody. Everybody that I know will tell you he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But he's got to be down, right? I got to be Baltimore. We've all seen The Wire. I got to be like that. No, you don't. And as you get older, people go, let's see. That ain't him. And that's hard to lead. Ishbia, worst owner? Maybe. Everybody was praising Ishbia. I look for Isaiah Thomas to get a job in that operation. I do. I liked Emmitt Smith when we interviewed him at the Super Bowl. I did. I liked Emmitt Smith a lot. You know, a lot of former football players, basketball players, they're in the news today. Like, how the hell, can somebody answer me this? How the hell does Blake Griffin have a commercial? A national commercial? I need his agent. My agent sucked. I need his agent. Blake Griffin wasn't even an interesting guy when he played other than a few dunks, and now 100 years later he's in commercials? Anyway, my point being, old guys rule, young guys drool. See what I did there? Third grade. In the modern landscape of NFL, I don't know about Major League Baseball, but I certainly know the NBA. I mean, Shaq and Charles, how many commercials can you do? Anyway, Emmitt Smith is sick of watching his Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl drought. He's sick of it. Having not seen the Cowboys reach the Super Bowl in the last 30 years, called the drought a crying shame. And he is absolutely sick of hearing "Go Birds" from Eagles fans. Well, he was at the Super Bowl in Nolens, and he heard "Go Birds" from Eagles fans. We have allowed others to nitpick at the star. The star is the thing in the middle of the field in Jerry World. And make fun of the star. This is exactly how I feel about Indiana basketball, and that's what happens. Now, all of a sudden, over the last 30 years, the Eagles win 2 Super Bowls. Purdue gets to the Final Four. And they think they're the best thing on the planet. And everywhere I go, I hear "Go Birds." Well, you're going to get more now. I'm sick of hearing "Go Birds." I'm always asking, where are you going? Got a long way to go to get to us. Really? I always go to this. I went to college in 1981. You think I gave a rat's ass what happened in 1951? I don't think they got a long way to go, son. I think they're there. It bugs me because in my heart, I truly believe an organization should be contending for an NFC championship, even a Super Bowl, at least once or twice every decade, because every team recycles every decade. Yeah. For us not to be there over the last 30 years is a crying shame. It is. Hang on, Emmitt. You're one of the stars from 1951, and by my logic, that's how I look at it. I don't know. We won a championship in Bowling Green in 2000. You think anybody cared about a Bowling Green championship in 25 years before? That's how I look at it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what happened 30 years ago. Now, because the world is smaller, social media, phones, all that stuff, maybe we know more about it, but nobody cares. Dallas Cowboys, I hate to say it, have like the Kentucky Wildcats, Indiana Hoosiers, Nebraska football, irrelevant. They jump up once in a while. They do. They jump up once in a while and have a decent Sweet 16 season, but they're irrelevant. You turn on the TV anymore? Yeah, I know we want to watch those three teams play, but they don't win much. They're just particularly Indiana. The crew of First Take felt the need to spend a segment on their show defending constantly having GOAT debates. This is very simple. They have a GOAT debate because you play the hits. You mentioned LeBron. You mentioned Michael. Easy. Marcus Spears added, it gets the most views. So that's why they're paying Stephen A. Smith the big bucks. Here's the deal. I've done talk radio at the most successful level for 15 years. I'm the most decorated talk radio host in the history of America. No, I'm not, but I'm close. 4-time National Show of the Year, 3-time Indiana Show of the Year, whatever. All right. You go to GOAT when you are not talented enough to talk during lean times. In Indiana in the summer, we always joked that I never did it. Two things. Should Bob Knight come back to Indiana University? We were in Indianapolis. And should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? GOAT debates are when you are lacking talent, lacking imagination, and don't know much about sports. I could do a 3-hour show on this coffee cup and make it interesting. I could. Sorry, I could. But here is the discussion between ESPN's dumbest.
Bringing up presidents from the 1800s, the 19th century, the 20th century, comparing, this guy to that guy and what have you. All of these things happen. You do the same thing in life, no matter what it is, because it's a litmus test of what defines greatness and who truly, truly measures up to it. And what were the elements and ingredients that made them great? And instead of people embracing and accepting that, they look at it as you throwing shade on them when they're not appreciating the fact that you're in the conversation means that you matter. You're that significant. You're that special compared to 99.99% of the world. And that, to me, is nothing wrong with that as long as you make that clear, which I think we do. It's just that the society that we live in has recognized how to monetize taking it in an opposite direction just for clickbait purposes.
See, I knew because obviously, Stephen A. been on this platform with you long enough to understand your perspective. You've been in this for a long time. That's why I specifically wanted to have this conversation with you, especially on First Take, because to your point, people love, as much as we get the vitriol about LeBron and Michael Jordan, it gets the most likes and clicks anytime we talk about it. But you'll think that society is tired of it. They're not tired of it. They say it because it's popular to be in the comments with everybody else, but they're not tired of it because it gets the most.
Jesus. It's very simple. Two untalented guys. Stephen A. Smith has never hosted a radio show that's been interesting. Never has. I mean, I remember when he got fired from, the station that I'm on now. No, he never has. It's two untalented guys just talking gibberish. Seriously, if you broke that sentence down, if you broke what Smith said down and really listened to it, number one, how arrogant to think that he decides what people want to hear, what you're supposed to do on talk radio. But then the other guy, I don't even know what the hell he's saying. At least he said the truth. And the truth is two untalented guys that can't put a show together unless they have something special, meaning a draft, finals, playoffs, Super Bowl. Anybody put a show together then. Anybody put a show together during the Colts regular season or the Seattle Seahawks if you're in Seattle or the Cincinnati Bengals if you're in Cincinnati during the football season. Anybody do that. But guys that go to the GOAT discussion and those kind of other discussions show they cannot. They cannot put a show together. When I first started doing radio, I did a day about all the great baseball players that came out of Indiana, and people called in. It was a good show. But I did it because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Now I do. Whenever you hear a GOAT conversation, you are hearing two guys, one guy, three guys, two guys, a girl, whoever's on the show, that can't put a show together in tough times. I literally could do a show on whatever you want. I could do 3 hours and make it fun. Yeah. What are you going to do? What Smith and Spears seemingly don't realize is that some people disapprove of the GOAT debate topic, and because of the practices of comparing players from one era to other, instead the topic has been unpopular because of its sheer overexposure. And I always say this, who ranks the rankers? Who ranks the rankers of the GOAT conversation? Stephen A. Smith never played. DeMarcus Spears' fat ass never knew whether it was basketball, football. He didn't know. He was playing football. He don't know. Especially when the conversation doesn't belong. That's right. On a dull day, you go to the GOAT, bad radio hosts do. Based on Smith's comment here, it's safe to bet we won't see fewer GOAT debates, so current players will have to continue to fight the one battle they can simply never win, nostalgia for players in the past. In a debate that ultimately comes down to performance. It does. But the truth of the matter is, anybody going to the GOAT well, what's your favorite restaurant? Now, we throw that stuff in because, well, people want to know what I have to say here in Indy because I am the GOAT of talk radio. However, the truth of the matter is when you devote a show to who's better, Michael or Magic or Bird or LeBron, I get it. Spears is right. People dig it a little bit, but I always turn them off. And I know that the people doing that, no, boobs. Not boobs, good boobs, boobs. Goofs, dorks, that kind of thing. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Hey, I want to go back to the White House. I'm going to put a poll out later today. I'm going to put a poll out maybe at this break. All right. Would you want your team to go to the White House? I'm going to put three things. One, yeah. Two, no. Three, why would I care? That's mine. Why would I care? Like, my team's not going to the White House. Okay, hey, honey, what are we having for dinner? My team's going to the White House. Hey, I'm going to go mow the grass. Why would anybody care? Why do we get so worked up about these things? So let me ask you, what would your answer be? A, yeah, I'm so glad they went. B, no, heathen. Heathen in the White House. He's a heathen. I'm going to go outside and whittle. I'm angry. Or C, yeah, I don't care. Would you go to the White House? Would you go to the White House if your company was invited? Like, let's go, Clay. Let's get OutKick Day at the White House. Everybody tells me that Trump and all the people at the White House pay attention to our show. Hello, all. Everybody tells me that they certainly pay attention to Clay's show. They pay attention to our writings. They pay attention to our YouTube channel. Why can't we have OutKick Day? I promise I won't take my shirt off and frolic. I know I got a nice little set on me right now of man boobs, but I swear I'll wear a suit. Why can't I go to the White House? Why can't we have OutKick Day? I will go first in. I will wave to the non-existent crowd. I will put it all over and let Joey Bag of Donuts and Sally and Susie Rottencrotch, I will let them all bitch, whine, and moan that I went to the White House. You're going to bitch, whine, and moan anyway. Yep, I think this is a good idea. Joe Kinsey, you're now friends with all the folks at the White House. Get it done. Get it done. Hey, I'd have gone with Obama was there. Obama shows up like, man, wherever he shows, people talk about it for years. He showed up at Nick's English Hut in Indianapolis or in Bloomington, the famous bar of Indiana University, and they still talk about it. Obama sat here, Obama went here, Obama went there. Yeah, good. Did you wipe the seat off? Like, did you put a plaque on that seat? Did you take the sweat from his ass and put it in a, like my daughter did with her Justin Bieber towel that she got at a concert? No, seriously. I'd go. I wouldn't stop going. I'd tell my kids to go. I'd try to get as many people. Hell, I'd take my bus and try to drive it out there if I could. That's right. That's what I would do. Anyway, long story short, hell yeah, I'm going to the White House.